really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
71st anniversary savings of 71% off labor on any siding or roofing project. BuildersandRemodelers.com.
Every day we give you live takes, opinions, and other stuff. Minnesota's most listened to talk station is FM 100.3 KFXN Minneapolis, St. Paul. The Fan.
Is this thing on?
Hey, you can watch Rosie with Common right now. Just head to KFAN.com/watch to see all of the action powered by Quantum Fiber.
We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out.
Let me get a lighter.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Mark Rosen's young and wild and free. He's the legendary one, Mark Rosen. I'm the common man, Dan Cole.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon to you, too. 151st plane of the Open Championship, Royal Liverpool.
Yes.
Will commence tomorrow. Might even be tomorrow there already, or it's pretty darn close.
I think they tee off around midnight our time.
Why do they always tee off at 6 a.m.?
I
don't understand.
Well,
why
you do.
I don't. Well, yeah, but I'm not playing in a major championship. I think they'd wait till later in the day, but they'll be teeing off at 6 a.m. Tomorrow. It's 6 hours ahead, so now it's 8 p.m. or shortly after 8 p.m.
Correct. Power
Trip Morning Show, the wildly, the very popular and wildly successful,
as you know,
Power Trip Morning Show does.
Not as astounding as other shows, but
no.
Well. All I know is I was number one in my time slot. And I had just shy of 14.
I could
really good.
Couldn't be more thrilled to be part of your success.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And you know what? Just climb on my back.
I'm trying to do.
I'm very Kirby Puckett.
Yep, you are. Very much so.
And they every major golf tournament, they do a you select golfers, and you do it by. How do you decide who gets? Is it? Do you draw numbers? Do you do rock paper scissors?
No. Actually, Zach Halverson has gotten very creative, and he's got almost like Wheel of Fortune type of thing, where they spin a wheel.
Wheel of Topic.
Yeah, exactly. Wheel of Topic, and it's up on the big screen in front of you. And all of our names and are on various, parts of that board, and it's spun around electronically. And whatever name it lands on, that person gets the pick. Now,
so the wheel of names is actually more exciting than you guys just taking the top 15
well,
golfers
here's what we
in the
do.
world.
We changed it a little bit. We take one of the top 12 golfers in the world, known as the Ghost, and if that golfer happens to win the tournament, then no one collects, no one pays. It's just one of those things where it makes it a little more even. And then the people who finish the last three spots, the last tournament, automatically get into a draw for the top spot. As it turns out,
sounds way too confusing.
It's a lottery. It's like a draft lottery.
A lottery. So Meat Sauce got the number one pick today.
Why don't they just take my advice and go ahead and have categories of golfers and select
too much.
1, 2, 2.
No. It's just, I think it's, I don't know.
It'd be simple.
I like doing that.
When Mark Rosen, what do you think? You can say you just rapidly go. Out of column 1, I take Rory McIlroy. Column 2, I take Phil Mickelson.
Yeah.
Column 3, I take blah 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 blah. And then you move on.
Shane Lowry. I mean, I understand. But this is the way they've always done it. I'm not in a position to argue.
You are. You're the legendary one. You're
I'm not.
part of this. Tell them.
I know, but no.
Fight for change, Mark.
It's worked pretty well. So we did it again today.
Now,
and I happily got the second round.
Let me ask you a question about rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
What do you think they did before they invented paper and scissors? Did they just do rock, and no one ever won?
Fred Flintstone came up with something different, I think.
Did you like that bit, Kenny? I've been working on that for a while.
I can tell.
Well, think about it.
I don't know. They just had rocks.
Rocks were here back in the Fred Flintstone days, but they had to invent paper and scissors. So before rock, paper, scissors, they must have just done rock.
Rock,
which
parchment.
meant nobody was a winner.
And
it seems back then that their disagreements, they just take a club over the other guy's head.
May have done that.
That seemed to settle things
got
quickly.
Number 1. Let me guess. He took. He took Rory McIlroy.
Correct.
and you were forced to take, let's see, you either were forced to take Scheffler or Rahm.
How many times are you getting the top picks in this thing?
Yeah,
lately, I've been on a roll. But that doesn't mean you're going to win.
You felt forced to take Scotty Scheffler.
I didn't get forced to take him, but I did take him because I mean, Rahm dropped all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. Carly Zucker took him 6th, which I find surprising, but I would not have. Kevin Gorg, who's the so-called expert that was in here in studio to analyze our picks, ended up with the 3rd overall pick, and he took Colin Morikawa, who's a very good golfer, but I would have taken John Rahm over him. I probably would have taken.
Oh, so now you're questioning other people's picks, are you?
Well, I question my own pick many times, so it's okay. We're all fair game. It's the usual suspects. There's not really.
How badly do you think I want now Morikawa to win?
You think we won't?
Well, I'm rooting.
We won't mention it on.
I wouldn't have taken Morikawa there. I mean, you basically said, "How stupid could Kevin Gorg be?" That's
I didn't
basically
say
what
that. I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Intimated.
I would have taken Brooks Koepka over. It's just my own personal opinion. I love watching Colin Morikawa play. He's a great golfer, and maybe this course sets up.
How many majors has he won? Do you know?
I don't think he's won. Did he win one? He's won 2. Oh, that's right. What was the second one?
I don't remember now.
I don't know. Oh, he's damn good, and it really depends on the conditions. He's certainly capable of winning this tournament. I just expressed an opinion, that's all. I mean, he very well may win this thing. But we kind of zipped through it, and poor Ben Lieber's near the bottom again. He
doesn't want to be in it anymore.
He may drop out. Yeah, he ended up taking Tommy Fleetwood.
That's who I took.
You did? Yeah, I think he's going to break through one of these times. He's always knocking on the door.
I didn't feel forced to take him.
Yeah.
I could pick anybody I wanted because we weren't doing a contest.
Right.
And I thought through it.
Okay.
Looked at stats, thought about highs and lows and ebbs and flows and countryman favorite. And I think Tommy Fleetwood, it's time for him to win.
He'd be a fan favorite, that's for sure. I mean, I'd like to see him win. Not this week, but but yeah, it's the good thing about the Open for golf fans is that, I think Scheffler tees off like at 4:30 tomorrow morning. So I mean, and throughout the weekend,
are they starting at 4:30? What now? Tell me they're starting at 4. Is it even light at 4:30?
I'll give them a little respect because I'm someone who constantly has to watch NHL hockey games at 9:30 at night in the playoffs because they got to set it up for TV. I love that the Open says we don't care about TV. We're going to start guys at 4:30 in the morning.
I like that. I guess you're right.
So I kind of respect that.
It makes sense. Yeah. So this is it, last major of the year. So.
What do you
I enjoy watching the Open a lot because I think it can be very challenging.
It seems to be all the talk is centered around the 17th hole. Your thoughts?
The par 3?
Yes.
You were surprised I knew that.
What do you know about the 17th hole?
I read a little bit. I haven't had a lot of time, to be honest with you, to read about it.
The guy who works 1 hour a day didn't have
I know. I was busy. I was at a movie last night, a 3-hour movie. I've been busy socially doing a bunch of stuff.
Well, you could focus on your job once in a while.
I will watch
talk about the Open Championship and talk about
I will be in position.
It's the 151st Open Championship.
Royal Liverpool, I know. It's where Rory won it in 2014.
And we want to talk about it.
Well, and they've made the course much more difficult. They've added, it's a par 71.
Keep going.
They added some length of the par 5s. I think there's a couple of a par 4 is there's a 600-yard par 5, but they've turned some of those par 5s into longer par 4s.
You're knowing more than I really thought you would know.
And they have made it that way. And there's a lot of bunkers, those great bunkers that we love watching during the Open. They're right alongside. They're
called pot bunkers.
Pot bunkers, yeah. They're right alongside the fairway, so you can get in a lot of trouble in a hurry.
Well, most bunkers are alongside the fairway.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying there's more of them, and I think there's just the old links golf. I like watching. I mean, remember
do too. I like
when we watched the U.S. Open, and these guys were firing 62s and 63s the first day. Well, this isn't the U.S. Open. This is the TPC next week.
Not what we're used to. That's
no, and it was. I'm not saying I was offended by it, but I wasn't enjoying it because I don't want to see guys shoot 63 in the U.S. Open. Not on a consistent basis, and I don't think that course challenge, as it turns out, they tried to make it tougher, but
Well, they did because only 10 under only won it. So
yeah, it did. It did calm down.
Well, of course. I mean, they went 8 under after the first day, and the winner was only 10 under. That means those 8 under guys didn't light it up after that.
No, they didn't. But it turned out to be challenging. And I think as the tournament goes on, if you're a fan, you watch it, you get to know the holes, you get to know what it's all about, and yeah, I'm excited for it. I think Rory's certainly the fan favorite, and Tommy Fleetwood will be right there with him. And the live guys, of course, are playing. Brooks Koepka's already won a major. He'll be there. Mike Musman got him. I think a question mark is can Ricky Fowler continue kind of his hot streak and the way he's been playing? Can Jordan Spieth, who's played well in these tournaments, can he find his putter?
How did Ricky Fowler do the last time he played at the Open Championship at Liverpool?
I think he had a really good finish. I thought he did. That he played. He finished. Was he top 5 next to
He finished
Rory?
second to Rory McIlroy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I thought. Okay, well, that's pretty good.
You were sweating it over there.
I was sweating it over everything. So, but yeah, pretty much the usual. There will always be, the first day in particular, 8 guys you've never heard of, because a lot of, the people who qualify for the Open in Royal Liverpool, there's a lot of golfers, much the way that U.S. Open golfers get a chance to play. We haven't heard of them. There's always some guy that, Joe Bag of Donuts will shoot a 65 or something. He'll have be up at the leaderboard early.
And then guess what will happen? He'll fade and won't make the cut.
Correct.
That's how it usually happens.
That's exactly what.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you watch or listen to the people who read the pundits, the people that played golf, cover golf, golf's their life. Most of them basically are either picking. I didn't see one person so far, and I'm sure they're out there, but for some reason, no one's picking McIlroy, even though he's had as good a year and coming off a win at the Scottish Open. It's hard to win back-to-back. It really is, because he just won last week at the Scottish Open.
Right.
It seems as though most of the people, the name that comes up more than not is Scheffler. That is the name that
he's
comes
so
up.
consistent.
And it's because he is considered the best ball striker in the world. Nobody hits the ball better than he does. If you look at the last year and a half, 2 years, he's been brilliant. He's won. He's won tournaments, major tournaments. He's been a little defensive when people talk about his putter. He said, my putting's just fine.
Came up this morning.
I'm tired of people talking about that. But the numbers are the numbers. And if you look at the numbers.
Not excellent.
When he putts brilliantly, he's basically going to win. It's hard to bet against him. If he's just putting okay, he's got a really good chance to win. If he's even when he's putting poorly, he can be in the hunt.
He's still like top 5.
Right, he's still a top 5.
It's astonishing, and he kind of came out of nowhere.
That's why so many people are picking Scotty Scheffler, the #1 player in the world. Tenneby, you have a keyword for us, right?
I do. The fan and NMC Exteriors want to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with their national cash contest. Enter the keyword green at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is green. Enter it now at KFAN.com.
He has the best seat in the house, and we're all better off for it. It's Mark Rosen with The Common Man on The Fan.
KFAN Total.
Westbound between Lindale Avenue and 35W, 394 eastbound is stop and go from Penn Avenue to Dunwoody Boulevard. 35 northbound at Cedar Avenue, a crash, right shoulder. That's traffic on The Fan. Traffic is sponsored by your next job at Gens Ryan.
Attention all experienced HVAC techs and installers. Gens Ryan is looking for you. Starting now, guaranteed 40 hours of work per week. Visit GensRyan.com to apply now. That's GensRyan.com.
Hey, Tenneby here for Underdog Fantasy. I actually just wrapped up my 4th draft in the Best Ball Mania 4, the biggest fantasy football tournament of all time, where there's $15 million in total prizes, $3 million going to first place. I kind of did a couple of stacks with Rodgers and Garrett Wilson and Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love the Underdog Fantasy because it has the best ball format. It's the easiest format to play. There's no waivers, no trades, no in-season management after you draft your team. I'm done. My work is done for the rest of the football season. What are you waiting for today? You can sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com or via the App Store with the promo code KFAN, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code KFAN. You must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. You could win $3 million playing Best Ball Mania 4 at Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code KFAN.
Homeowners, do you have any digging projects planned for this summer? Click or call Gopher State 1. Call at 811 first. It's simple, safe, and free. You don't know where utility lines are, so why guess? Safety first, dig second. Click or call 811 is all it takes. You can also use the Gopher State 1 Call iTick system at gopherstate1call.org. Wait 48 hours after contacting Gopher State 1 Call, excluding weekends and holidays. Once you get the all clear, you can dig away. Gopher State 1 Call. Click or call 811 before you dig.
Experiencing an injury or illness? Wondering if you'll be able to keep your job or when you can return to work? The Minnesota Retain program may be able to help. Participants may qualify for free support from experts who can guide you through the next steps to get you back to work quickly and safely. Visit mnretain.com or call 507-284-4537 to learn more. Minnesota Retain is fully funded under a grant awarded by the U.S. Department of Labor and the Social Security Administration. This message is brought to you by Minnesota Retain, this station, and the Minnesota Broadcasters Association.
Hey, it's Meat Sauce for Window Nation with a few words about summer. Scorching, sweating, blazing, feeling the heat. High temps aren't the only thing getting you hot under the collar. Wait until you see your energy bills and your AC repair bills. The solution? Window Nation for new energy-efficient windows. Your home stays comfortable and cool. Your energy bill sinks as low as it can go. Save thousands right now with no down payment, no payments, and no interest for 2 years, plus 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. All you got to do is go to windownation.com. Tell them Meat Sauce sent you.
Traditional jewelry stores sell engagement rings based on the what you see is what you get principle. The ring that they show you is the ring you get, period. If it's not exactly your perfect ring, oh well. And it's also the same ring thousands of other women get. At Wedding Day Diamonds, we operate on a very different principle. What you see is only the beginning, because every one of the thousands of engagement rings we have in stock can be customized to your heart's content. Want it in rose gold? No problem. More side diamonds, different shaped diamonds, no problem. You make it your perfect ring, and then our team of master craftsmen build it specifically for you. Your ring will be a true one-of-a-kind treasure, and with our exclusive Perfect Ring Promise, you will have a full year to be sure it's your perfect ring. Don't settle for a cookie-cutter, mass-produced ring when you can have the perfect ring that's yours and yours alone. At Wedding Day Diamonds, your ring is created just for you.
Clear Cut Exteriors is on the scene and in the Love Covenant, wondering if you need a new roof or siding or gutters or all three. ClearCutExteriors.com. That's exterior starting with an X, and X marks the spot with this group. They're honest going, warranty all their work, and even will assess your roof at no charge. So whether it's a leaky roof or whatever, get with Clear Cut Exteriors. ClearCutExteriors.com. That's exteriors beginning with an X. Ask about that free roof analysis now. ClearCutExteriors.com.
Most online dating profiles are works of fiction. At It's Just Lunch, we are all about fun, real-life dates set up by real dating experts. Save the fiction for your nightstand and call It's Just Lunch today. Visit itsjustlunchtwincities.com or call 612-355-2727.
Back to school means back to learning. If you need internet that makes the grade, Quantum Fiber delivers amazing reliability and speed, all with unlimited data. Learn more at Q.com. Limited availability. Service and select locations only.
Common Man is here for the breakthrough option for ear tube placement. It is called Hummingbird. It's a safe procedure. Hummingbird performed in the comfort of the office without general anesthesia. Also, that would eliminate fasting as well. It's efficiently performed, which allows an immediate return to your kids' normal activities. Less expensive, too. Overall costs are often much less than traditional operating room-based procedures. If your child has to undergo ear tube placement, I highly recommend Hummingbird Ear Tubes. Go to hummingbirdEarTubes.com, hummingbirdEarTubes.com.
Now back to the 651 Carpets, home of the Next Day Install Studios on The Fan.
Hey, you can watch Rosie and Common right now. Just head to kfan.com/watch to see all of the action powered by Quantum Fiber.
Buxton out of the lineup, and the Twins score the most runs they've scored in a game in quite some time. They destroyed the Seattle Mariners last night. I think the final was 10-3. They took a 2-0 lead to start the game. Then Bailey Ober, I think, surrendered 3 runs. But then he settled down, pitched, I think, over his next, he retired 15 of the next 17. He kind of cruised the rest of the way, which turns into a laugher for the Twins. Since the All-Star break, they sweep the A's. They beat Seattle twice now. They got one more with Seattle, or is this 4 games?
One more tonight.
One more tonight. So they've won the first 2 games, so they're guaranteed a series win. They're on a 5-0 run. They've extended their lead now in the AL Central to, is it 2 games?
Well, because Cleveland just lost to Pittsburgh 7-5. So right now, as we speak, they have a 2-game lead. And
so that could go to 2.5 after tonight.
Right.
This team is starting to gel a little bit, and I think
I'm sorry for interrupting
about
myself. No, the Twins actually finished the series. They have another one with Seattle tomorrow afternoon.
All right.
Before they come home and play the
Getaway
White
day.
Sox. Getaway day. So they do play tomorrow. It's 4
And the
games.
White Sox are a sub-500 club. You're starting to like this team. By the way, I think I saw a note, just so we pump the brakes a little bit before we get too excited and start planning our parade route. And we all love parades. That's the first winning team the Twins have beat since June 1st.
Wait a minute. Didn't they beat Baltimore?
I think it was July 1st.
Oh, July. I'm sorry. July.
Oh,
I'm in July.
Yeah,
I'm in
they've
July.
beaten
But
other
still,
teams.
July 1st, that's still
Well, it's pretty much the whole month.
pretty much a whole month. But you know what? That's water under the bridge. All I know is we're in first place, and we're on a roll right now. Your thoughts on the Twins?
Well, it's I mentioned you yesterday, and it's a pleasure to watch him. I mean, with all the struggles that Buxton had, which led to his benching. I'll get into that in a second. But
Let me interrupt real quick.
Alex,
remember you just a week ago you didn't like watching them, and now you do because they're winning and they're scoring runs.
I mean, it's
right.
I watch them almost when I'm home. Last night I didn't see much of the game because at a 3-hour movie, the preview of Oppenheimer. So I didn't see. I got back at the. I think it was in the 6th inning, so I didn't miss. I missed most of the runs, but I saw enough of it. But I think the dilemma, if you want to call it that, it's a nice problem to have. Julian's been hitting the ball really well for them, and Polanco is going through his rehab, and he's getting closer to return. So they're not going to send Julian down. He's just too good of a ball player. So do they potentially move him to third base? Because he's not a great defensive player, but he can play some third. Polanco is more of a natural second baseman. But it's a little mystifying when I read the quotes. I actually picked up John Shipley's column today, St. Paul paper, and it had to do with Byron Buxton. The headline, struggling Buxton gets the day off, hitting 196, 77 games. The day off is, a combination of a couple of things. Although he ranks second among teammates with 15 home runs, he's now hitting 196. The quote from Rocco Baldelli, he's healthy, Baldelli said. Of course, then he went on to say, Shipley went on to say that, however, is relative. He's 29, been limited to DHs. And then Baldelli ends up contradicting himself literally 2 paragraphs later by saying, quote, this isn't a question of what he wants to do. It's a question of what he is physically capable of doing. Does he think he's physically capable of doing it? I don't think so. So why would he say he's healthy? I don't understand that. I mean, he's not. If he was healthy,
sounds like a contradiction because he told us before he can't play every day in the field.
Yeah, I know. So then he's not healthy. Otherwise, he's one of the best center fielders in the game. Of course, he'd be out there. And it's just, my God, I don't know if he's going to be back in the lineup tonight. I assume he will be. I would be surprised. I don't know. He should be.
They scored 10 runs without him.
Well, yes, and I think they have, and I use the word potential. It's all you can use when you talk about the Twins. But given how Kirilloff is really adjusting, and I'm enjoying listening to Trevor Plouffe on the broadcast, really kind of help me, along with Morneau, analyzing what Kirilloff is doing at the plate, and he's going to the opposite field, and I'm anxious to see what this lineup looks like. When Polanco comes back, you got Kirilloff hitting, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks that Royce Lewis will be back at third base. That's not a bad lineup in there with Julian and the rest of the and Kepler starting to hit a little bit. They should be scoring more runs than what they were going through. So, how does Byron Buxton fit into the equation is anyone's guess. All I know is when you get down to crunch time, number one, you can't have him hitting third in the lineup. Number two, you really can't have him in the lineup. If he continues this isn't a slump. This is who he is right now. And that's, I don't know how you change the narrative on that without playing him. I mean, I don't think they're not going to send him to St. Paul. I mean, that's the accomplished zilch. You can bench him for a few days, and which they may very well do. But aren't their hands tied a little bit here? You can put him eighth in the lineup. I guess you can have him DH or have him hit ninth and pretend he's the pitcher like they used to do when they didn't have the DH. I don't know. I just don't understand that quote. He's healthy. Well, he's not healthy.
Well, Mark Rosen, what would you do if you're the manager? Would you put Byron Buxton in the lineup tonight or not?
If I did, I would have him. They're facing a pretty good pitcher tonight. I can't remember who's going for Seattle, but Seattle's actually favored.
Not if you did. I'm asking you, would you put him in the lineup tonight?
I'd give him one more day off and have him play tomorrow on getaway day. I'd give him one more day off. Why change what worked last night? I would not. Because
what if they scored 10 runs again tonight?
Well, I still think you got it. I think you'd play him tomorrow because it's a.
Why?
Well, because
He's
I think
awful.
it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to answer my own question. It's a dilemma that doesn't have. I mean, what do you do with him? And how long do you sit him? Do you sit him for the White Sox series then too? What difference does it make if he plays tomorrow afternoon or Friday night against Chicago? I mean, I think, like I said, I think Seattle's got a better pitcher going tonight. So more than likely,
they got Luis Castillo.
Castillo's is a good pitcher. Seattle's favored tonight.
Here's what you do. Here's your solution.
All right.
You tell him, why don't you go home for a while? Go schedule surgery on your knee. Go rehab. Take some time off. Take a deep breath. We'll see you in spring training. That's what
I'd give him a darkness retreat.
Maybe a darkness retreat thrown in there too.
Well, Baldelli said he's healthy. I don't know.
That's what I'd do if I was running the club.
Right.
I'm not running the club.
No, you're not.
The reason they continue to play him is they're trying to save face. They gave him all that money.
I know.
Again, the amount of money he's making really is kind of chump change in big.
It's not. Baseball. Yeah, in the big picture,
but for
it's
the
not.
Twins, it's a lot of money, and they will not bench him because of that.
Yeah.
That
not
would,
for
that would
extended
be
time.
They made a huge
mistake. Right.
We'll break. Come back. One more segment to go with the legendary one. Mark Rosen, Tennessee being the common man here on the Fan.
Right here on the Fan.
You say you all about money. Yeah, I'm on that cash.
Hi, it's Molly from NMC Exteriors, and we're excited to announce our partnership with Apple Roofing. NMC is still the same company serving your roofing, siding, and window needs. Check us out at nmcexteriors.com.
Are you hungry for the inside scoop of women's soccer? I'm Sam Mewis. And I'm Lynn Williams. And we're professional soccer players, best friends, and the hosts of Snacks, the only women's soccer podcast hosted by active players that gets into the most recent news, gossip, and fun of the NWSL, the women's national team, and the delightful, delicious world of snacks.
It's a weekly show that features great guests from the world of women's soccer, recaps and previews of the biggest matches, and the two of us hanging out with you.
You can listen to Snacks on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, common man here for my pals at All Elements Area Roofing Specialists in the upper Midwest. You know about storm chasers. I've told you about them. Storm comes, they come to your house, they knock on your door. We'll get it fixed. We'll get everything taken care of for you. Here today, gone tomorrow, doing oftentimes shoddy work and nowhere to turn. Go to All Elements. They've been here for, almost 30 years. Here in the Twin Cities, based out of Monticello in the upper Midwest. Your roofing specialist, whether it's commercial or residential, you can depend on. I forgot the tagline. It's whether it's commercial or residential, your roof is essential. You can depend on All Elements. Go to allelementsinc.net, allelementsinc.net, or kfan.com, keyword roof.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Meat Sauce here with General Manager Casey Novotny from the all-new Walzer Wayzata Nissan location. Casey, what do you want the listeners to know this month?
All month long, at any of the 3 Walzer Nissan locations, Burnsville, Coon Rapids, and of course Wayzata, we are offering a pick your vehicle for $269 per month special. Choose from either a new Rogue, Frontier, or Altima, only $269 a month.
What? You can choose from any of the 3 2023 Nissan Rogues, Frontier, or Altimas for $269 per month? What's the catch?
Correct. $269 a month, you choose your ride. No catch. Stop into any of our 3 Walzer Nissan locations.
Well, alrighty then. You heard it. Stop in any of the Walzer Nissan locations in Wayzata, Coon Rapids, or Burnsville and claim your 2023 Nissan Rogue, Frontier, Altima for $269 a month.
That's right, Sauce. Stop in today and ask for the Pick Your Vehicle special.
That's Walzer Nissan, Coon Rapids, Wayzata, and Burnsville.
Rogue lease with $4,000 down payment. VIN PW474946. Ultima lease with $4,000 down payment. VIN DW6PN407443. Frontier lease with $4,000 down payment. VIN EK9PN659652.
You're just going to have to live with it. That's what I told myself. And if you can believe it, that's what the doctors told me.
Since Andy was a boy, he had health issues, which later we would find were primarily due to his trouble breathing. So for 36 years, Andy lived with about 85% blockage in his nose. He had to breathe through his mouth, because when he tried to breathe through his nose, it felt like he was being suffocated. It affected his sleep, his work life, and his ability to play sports. And he wasn't going to let it ruin his life anymore. So he came to Advent. As bad as it was, his problem required a simple solution. In-office balloon sinuplasty and turbinate reduction. Procedures you won't find offered by big box healthcare. This is Dr. Madan Kandula. It's definitely possible that your nasal breathing problems have a simple solution too. You can hear Andy's story in his own words at adventknowsandy.com and begin on your path to breathing well and living better.
Results may vary.
Minnesota's transportation leader is MTLcompanies.com. They prioritize adding value to their clients while developing creative solutions for all supply chain needs. With over 400,000 square feet of warehouse space, 150 power units, and 900 trailers, you have to visit MTLcompanies.com.
Shop Arthur's tax-free summer wedding band event. Explore the largest collection of wedding bands in the Twin Cities. You'll find exactly what you want. Book now for up to 24 months at 0% financing, exclusive offers, and Arthur's will pay your sales tax. Don't miss Arthur's summer wedding band event, August 1st through the 12th.
Okay, team, lines already around the block, and we're open in 10. Yesterday, we had 3-hour wait times.
Chef Pierre's staff is a little under-seasoned.
Why is this pot not boiling yet?
An experienced sous chef is the missing ingredient in his kitchen.
What do you mean, plate or a bowl? You work at La Pasta in La Cup.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
71% off labor on all siding, roofing, and door projects. Buildersandremodelers.com.
This is Clay Travis. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Kenta Maeda will oppose Luis Castillo on the mound tonight as the Twins go for 2 in a row in Seattle. Twins begin the day leading the AL Central by a game and a half. The Vikings plan to wear their newly unveiled throwback uniforms for their season opener when they host the Buccaneers. Former Northwestern running back Warren Miles Long said today that hazing was rampant at the school. Attorneys say they represent 15 former Wildcat athletes. I'm Doug Thompson.
The brilliant EQE SUV from Mercedes-Benz, available with digital light technology. So smart, even the headlamps are thinking. The vehicle's all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more. MBUSA.com/EQE-SUV.
Our podcasts are so good, they're actually radio shows. New podcast posted daily on iHeartRadio and KFAN.com.
Hey, play hooky with the Power Trip Morning Show at CHS Field on Wednesday, July 26th. Join the guys as they watch the St. Paul Saints take on the Toledo Mudhens in a matinee game. Tickets are $25 and include a Power Trip Hooky t-shirt when you use the code KFAN. Get your tickets today at saintsgroups.com.
This isn't that hard. You bench him. You bench Buxton. As long as we keep winning, he stays benched. Jesus, why in God's name? We won yesterday. You're already talking about giving him 1 day off and bringing him back. If we win again, keep his ass benched. What are you guys talking about?
Guys, that wasn't me.
I was speculating what the Twins would do.
No. I asked what you would do, and
I'd say play him tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what you just said.
Yeah,
that's
said
what
that.
you were saying.
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's what you said.
Because
now you're trying to say you didn't.
No,
say it.
I'm not saying that. No, I did not say that at all. But the question is, as this very passionate caller said, you keep him benched. Okay,
What annoys me is he threw me in with you. I was the one that said, don't play him.
ever again. The rest of the season, shut him down.
I said, yes, send him home. Tell him, you take the rest of the year off. Get some R&R. Take a long, hard look. His swing is bad. His approach is bad. His health is bad.
And what's going to? I mean, I'm not. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. If the manager says he's healthy, even though he can't play center field,
Well, then he's not healthy. The manager doesn't know what to say anymore.
he's run out of things to say. My suggestion was to put him deep in the lineup to see if that helped him a little bit. I said that the other day before they benched him. Don't have him hit third again, ever, until he can prove otherwise. But having him, I said, put him in the position where the pitcher used to bat,
Send him
ninth.
to St. Paul.
Well,
he's got to get his hitting stroke back.
I know, but that
can they even send him to St. Paul?
I don't know if they can.
Why can't they?
Of course,
I never with those contracts and waivers.
They should say to him, it's for your own good. Go get
But
your
the
stroke back.
psychology of doing that, I mean, he's watching, I'm sure, with the hitting coach, videotape after videotape. He's studying it more than a pro golfer studying his swing on tape. He's looking at all the things he's doing. Like I said, I had one Twins insider tell me before he really hit the skids, Byron Buxton's not a good hitter.
Well, I told you that 2 years ago and you wouldn't listen to me.
Well,
I did. I've always told you he's overrated.
I'm overrated and not being a good hitter. I mean, most of it's injury related, and he's had some really good streaks. Where
he's had one really good. He had 1 month where he hit the
Well, you also, though, you are right that you did say he was a bad hitter, but you also said, hey, he should DH because you got to keep him healthy. Whereas I was like, no, his biggest value is playing in center field. That's how he can be a value to the team.
That's the thing.
This was early in the year. I said that before we knew how bad he was going to hit. It's if he physically can't play, I was going by what they said. They said he can't play in the outfield. If he can't, then you play him at DH. But now that he can't DH, he shouldn't do either.
Well, and then it adds even more insult to injury when you got him in the third hole in the lineup.
I agree.
That's almost a fireable offense. It just is, because basically you're giving up that position. You're giving up that spot. Not just, DH literally says you're the designated hitter. You should be the best hitter almost that's not in the everyday lineup. It's going to add a lot, especially if you're hitting third. So we'll see. Maybe the lineups will come out before we're off the air this afternoon tonight.
You and I have not talked about this story. I don't know if you did in the Power Trip Morning Show, but it continues to get uglier. The headline, Associated Press, this is from 20 minutes ago, says Northwestern hazing scandal included multiple sports, men and women, according to attorneys. Dateline Chicago says allegations of hazing in Northwestern's athletic programs broadened today as attorneys said male and female athletes reported misconduct within 2 other sports and suggested sexual abuse and racial discrimination within the football program was so rampant that coaches knew it was happening. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump said he and other attorneys have received disturbing details from former baseball and softball players at the university, in addition to growing complaints of abuse in the football program, which players described as rampant and devastating. Black football players appear to have faced an additional layer of abuse. Lawsuit filed Tuesday accuses fired football coach Pat Fitzgerald of enabling a culture of racism, including forcing players of color to cut their hair and behave differently to be more in line with Wildcat way. Former Northwestern quarterback and receiver Lloyd Yates, who is black, said the abusive culture was especially devastating for many players of color. I always thought the hazing stuff was kind of, and I'm hoping it's not this certainly isn't an isolated incident, but hazing, I think, used to be much more prevalent years and years and years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like I would hope it's shrinking, but it's not gone. It's obvious, and who knows where else it's going on. This seems almost unfathomable to me in this day.
Well, especially, I hate to say it, but I mean, this is Northwestern we're talking about. This is kind of the gem of academic excellence in the Big Ten. They don't really think about, they win once in a while, but it's Northwestern. I mean, this isn't football factories at Michigan or Ohio State or, where there's so much pressure to win. You're paying your coach. Pat Fitzgerald's been there a long time, but you're paying the coach, the Harbaughs of the world, millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now they're going to be paying out, in all likelihood, millions and millions and millions of dollars of civil suits. That's probably going to happen down the road here. It's almost at the point now where, it started with the football program, and credit the university newspaper for helping uncover a lot of these hazing firsthand accounts that forced the president to backtrack in a hurry and revise his statements and let Fitzgerald go, and now he's countersuing, and because he's owed like $42 million. It is a quagmire. I mean, it is, it's just, and it's not the first university. Minnesota's had issues before. A lot of universities have had issues, but you're right, Common. It's sort of like, what the hell is happening? When you think about hazing, you think about, taping someone to a chair or, doing something goofy and, using that word hazing. I mean, going back to pro football, they used to make the rookies sing for their dinner. Is that hazing? I guess it's just, it's just the.
You have to sing your school fight song.
Yeah,
that's pretty harmless stuff.
But this is really serious stuff, and it's just, it's devastating, and you really can't believe what year it is, and this is really happening.
I've never understood the point behind it either.
No.
I don't know. I know, you're supposed to have, sports and just college life is supposed to be kind of fun and games. Well, but this is beyond the pale. This isn't fun and games. I even told Deuce he wanted to join a frat, and I said, you got to be careful here. If they start doing any of this, okay, you got to drink a bottle of gin, and you got to drink.
Right.
Don't fall for the peer pressure.
No.
Get out of those situations. And how they occur, and guys and gals get caught up in it. The next thing you know, and then if indeed it sounds as though to me, and I was not there, I don't know. I've been following the story as closely as I can. It sounds like most people feel the coaching staff had to have known. This is not something like, I have no idea this was going on inside my program. I can't believe this. It seems like everybody seems to
one
feel
of the hand signals they were using was similar to the hazing.
Right. Then think about the ultimate with the Jerry Sandusky situation at Penn State, which kind of pointed fingers right to Joe Paterno. Same type of thing. I know nothing. I see nothing. I hear nothing. And this was going on in his program for how long it took, and that shook the very foundation of everyone's mindset about it. That was the ultimate, where they sent the guy to prison for his life, basically, right? But yeah, it's Illinois, like nearly all states in recent decades, has criminalized hazing. It's typically a Class A misdemeanor, which can carry up to 1 year in prison. Under Illinois law, failure of a school official to report hazing is also a crime. A misdemeanor can carry maximum penalty between 6 months and a year. Well, again, the financial part of it's going to be the civil cases are going to pile up, and Northwestern's got a real big mess because, like you said, Common, it's not just one sport right now. It's not just one gender right now. It's a hot mess that they have to figure out, because it's very embarrassing and costly, and I feel so bad for those student athletes that had to endure all this crap.
And most of it peer pressure, feeling in many cases, I have to go along with this because that's just.
But you bring up a good point.
Ultimately.
Your son's going through it too, and what happens in these frat houses now, and there's that when you get the upperclassmen that are welcoming the freshmen into a potential situation, and back in the day, there was a lot of that crap that went on, and you'd like to think, well, come on, there's innocent sort of stuff, and then there's. The drinking, like, come on, man, you can drink this.
Right.
Drink that bottle of gin. It's not going to hurt you. And you hear those horror stories that end up, someone dead.
It's happened. Back to baseball for a moment.
Yes, sir.
Tenneby mentioned this during 534, just as an aside. We were talking about the Twins and their 10 runs. 12 Major League Baseball teams scoring double digits for the first time since 1894. For the first time since 1894, 12 Major League teams score in double digits when a record 13 accomplished the feat.
When are you talking about? Like last night?
Last night.
Oh, really? Wow.
12 MLB teams scored in double digits. In
That's
1894, the record was 13. That's the most since then. I think this is exactly what Major League Baseball wants. The rule changes were made. Pitching, it's well documented. It sort of became a strikeout or a home run. Pitchers throwing as hard as they can for a short, and then bringing the next pitcher and do this and do that. And that's why they eliminated the shift.
Mm-hmm.
They put the pitch clock in so the games would go faster. They made the bases
larger.
They wanted to increase scoring, which I'm a pitcher guy, but I don't mind a lot of runs scored occasionally. So this doesn't, someone sent me an email earlier today saying, boy, I bet you this has got your dander up, because you're a pitching guy. It's like, no, things are going to occasionally. If these softball scores were all the time, that wouldn't do a lot for me. And the thing is, generally speaking, if you have a well-pitched game, generally doesn't take as long as a high-scoring game, generally speaking, right? If I would be curious to know, and I don't have the game times in front of me for all these games. I wonder how much longer those games took, if they were taking more than average, because I think we've been averaging right around. Is it something like 2 hours, 37 minutes, 36 minutes, 38?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and last year I think it was like 3 So we're almost like 30 minutes down. And I suppose I could try to find the numbers. I didn't think of that aspect of it till now. If it took longer to play these games, and part of the reason that they made the rules changes, especially the pitch clock, was to shorten these games. But I don't mind some hitting, but I'd prefer
and yet we're watching the Twins on almost an historic pace to lead the world in strikeouts. I mean, so it's not just
correct.
You have that going on, and look, baseball's tried before the shot clock, before the other rule changes you just talked about, juicing the baseballs. They tried. We've got to add more offense. This goes back to the strike post strike year where McGuire and Sosa went at it for trying to break home run records when they turned the other way about steroid use. They didn't care what players were doing. They just wanted more home runs. So they've tried a number of different ways. This one, they seem to have landed on something that most players, managers, umpires, everybody, fans, pretty much appreciate and like, that the fact that the games are speeded up, but you're still not losing, a well-pitched game, or you're not losing the opportunity to score a bunch of runs in an inning, and it doesn't necessarily mean the game's going to last 4 hours. So I think they have a pretty good mix right now. It still is. I don't know. I mean, I know it's age of specialization. I'm still baffled how many times this Twins team, in particular, since we watch them all the time, strikes out. I just find it. And they're not always facing, the best pitchers in baseball. They're facing guys, left-handers that have a pulse that can strike anybody out on this team. But hopefully this will get turned around a little bit more. But overall, I think it's been good. It's really been good for baseball and for fan interest this year.
Lastly, for you, Tenneby brought this up in 534.
Yeah.
The Arena Football League unveiled a 16-team league in a Twitter post today. One of those teams will be based in Minnesota. We just don't know where yet, and we don't know what the name of the team will be.
You think St. Paul?
Maybe Lowertown.
That'd be great.
Would they be able to? Well, it's arena football.
Yeah, it's arena, so you have to play inside.
You have to. Yeah, it would have to be. It kind of limits you a little bit, right?
It does.
I mean, you have to have an arena. I guess.
Right.
How many do we have in the Twin Cities? We have with the fuse box. Could Target do it?
Yeah, I don't see them doing it.
I guess they could, though, right?
It previously was at Target Center.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
They could clearly do it. After those two, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess somebody emailed her.
Well, and how big are they looking for 18,000-seat arenas, or could they end up in like Duluth?
Someone
at Amsoil Arena.
Yeah, somebody suggested Duluth. Could you do it, Mankato? St. Cloud, are there arenas big enough there? There would be, right?
Yeah, you get,
you just need a hockey
7,000,
arena is what you
8,000,
need,
yeah.
right? Is that where you play? You play them in a hockey
Sure.
arena, right?
Yeah, like Mariucci, on campus. Yeah, whether or not it's going to succeed, we've gone through.
Would you go to games?
I don't know. I haven't given it a second of thought.
Well, give it a second thought, right?
If Mike Tice was coaching, maybe I would, just to see him coach. There's no defense. Mark Parrish was talking about this morning. Is that there's no defense in these games at all. I mean, no one ever makes a defensive play. It just goes.
Why would you want to?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I kind of shrug my shoulders about it, but it certainly would attract a young demo. That's what they're looking for.
Is there an oversaturation?
Charge $5.
Is there an oversaturation point? I mean, other than your basic, your men's major four sports, right? Football, baseball, hockey, basketball. Then and I guess soccer is mainstream now, right?
Oh, it is.
Soccer.
Yeah. Well, MLS
now,
is. Yeah.
The women have the Lynx,
right?
And they have what's that? They have a pro hockey team, don't they?
Yeah, the Whitecaps. Yeah,
the Whitecaps.
Yeah, and they got the soccer team,
and then of course all the collegiate teams. Do the Whitecaps draw much of a crowd? Do you know?
No. They moved to Richfield Arena last winter. I'm not really sure how the attendance went there.
So even with one of the major men's four that's also branched out into women's pro hockey, they have trouble. Are we going to start having professional pickleball leagues that they expect people to buy season?
The way pickleball's going in this country, wouldn't be surprised.
They buy season tickets to and go watch them play, and it's like, I don't. I guess if you want to do it and you can get by without because I just don't see people flocking to arena football. I don't see it. Especially when is this league going to be? In summer, nobody wants to be inside watching. I think it's doomed for failure.
Well, Parrish's dad played on a professional slow pitch softball team, the Goofies, I think they were called, or something like that back in the day. And we've had. When the Kicks were here, they played indoor soccer at Met Center, and people, went and watched it. But I mean, we've had variations. Yeah, we've had variations.
There's a reason
of these
it's
sports.
not here anymore.
It's possible if you find a play like a team that's not charging, right? Because tickets now for all these sporting events are ridiculously expensive, and there's probably a segment of the community that can't afford to go into any of these games and might go, hey, this is something I can afford to do. And depending on what their tickets are.
They tried indoor lacrosse here. I went there. Chad Abbott and I went down with my family. That's when baby brother Peter was in first grade and we're walking up toward the arena after we'd been on the field before the game. And Chad Abbott looked at baby brother Peter's in first grade and says, "How's first grade going?" And Pete goes, "Painful." That's what he actually said, painful.
I heard that from my dad, yeah.
So I don't know.
Painful.
I wish the best for arena football. I hope it works, but I think we're kind of oversaturated in the sports market.
Normally we are. It's on TV, and then people are going to.
What if they want you to endorse them?
Love it. Absolutely.
Bring it on.
Matter of fact, I was the commissioner of the Mid-America Football League for a while, so I love off-the-beaten-path leagues. Mark Rosen, we'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
And you did a bang-up job as well. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Stick around. Big Ticket JG, they're next right here in the Fan.
Good night.